Hi there. So, I'm at the coast staying with some people, and I have been for the past several months doing some videos to upload to a YouTube channel. So, while I've been here, I've been going back through all those videos. I've probably got about 40 of them right now, and just checking them out, seeing what they look like, seeing how I act, seeing if they're post worthy, seeing if there's changes I should make or things I should edit out or any of those things. So it's like when you first do a YouTube channel, maybe everyone knows this but me, it's like a little nerve wracking. Like you feel a little bit self conscious. Like, is anybody even going to want to? So I've had a few different. I've probably even talked about this in some of those videos I'm about to post. But I just wanted to clarify a few things. And this is the first video I'm going to post. That way you can see who I am and like why I'm doing this and all that. So here are my thoughts in my first video, just so you know what's going on and what I'm even doing. All right, so first off, my name is Sam, and I live in Oregon. I am a talker, and which is a good thing for me. And most of my friends and family are like, you need an outlet. You need a YouTube channel. You should do TikToks. You should do Instagram videos or whatever. And so I didn't have a desire to do that. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I like talking to people and face to face, real life. I like getting together with people. I like talking about ideas and philosophies and spiritual things and metaphysical things and science and planets and all of the above. So, a little bit about me. So, I started off being like a tomboy when I was a kid, and then I turned into like a party girl when I was a teenager, and then I was still a party girl in my 20s, but I'm still kind of a tomboy and a little mischievous, kind of annoying, and I talk too much. So that was me, and then at 30, I finally buckled and had a kid, and she's amazing, and her name is Riley. And let's see. So then I became a mom and I stopped drinking and drugs and all those things, stopped partying, and decided to dedicate myself as Riley's mom. I just thought, that's a human being that I'm in charge of. And I'm not really very good at being in charge of things, if you can tell. Anyway, so I had to really focus and put all of my energy into being Riley's mom. Well, that wasn't, I mean, that was the funnest thing in the whole wide world. And I'm so glad I decided to do it. And I'm so glad I waited till I was 30 years old because I wouldn't have been a very good mom before that. Anyway, so once I made a decision to do that and become a mom, I read all the books, and I was a pretty good mom, I think. I was raised well, like my mom and dad are good people, and I had a good childhood and a good upbringing and all the things most people would want in a life. And then let's see. So then I took care of my nieces, Michael and Morgan, quite a bit, and I loved them as my own. And my sister was a single mom and she worked a lot, and I didn't. So I worked at taking care of those three girls and half a dozen neighborhood kids. And then I started going to church. Those kids talked me into taking them to church, which I wasn't very happy about, but I did it anyway, reluctantly. And then I realized, this isn't just a good place for them. This is probably a good place for me too. So I started going there. Within a couple of years, I was like leading my own groups and teaching classes and man, doing stuff. I did all sorts of stuff in that church. In fact, 25 years later, I can look back and say I did every job in that church. I was in charge of a lot of different departments and I developed a lot of things, like curriculum and programs and different stuff, mostly working behind the scenes, but everybody knew me. They called me the info babe because I knew everything. Anyways, so I did that for 25 years. And then little by little, I started feeling like things were shifting. And I started to like not feel like I belonged there anymore. That's a whole story I'll tell you another time. But finally, a few years later, maybe 5 to 7 years later, I didn't go there anymore. I graduated. So I'll tell you about that sometime. Anyway, let's see what else. So, then we sold our house. Our life stopped being Grand Central Station. And I started taking care of my husband who was starting to get sick. He had emphysema. And then it was no longer about everybody else and their dog. It was all about my family. And I ended up having to focus on my family and deal with some of the issues within that organism. My mom had dementia. My father-in-law was old, he died at 95. And so I took care of him for like 8 years. Anyway, love that guy. I love all the people in my life. Everybody's great. Everybody's just fantastic people. And even though we're not perfect, it's like we've all worked through everything. Anyway, so then, my mom died, my father-in-law died, my dad had already died, like all these people dying. So then after my husband passed away, that was like 4.5 years ago, I sold the house, which we had inherited from his dad, nice house, and then went on a journey to find where I belong. And then I did. And so I live in Southern Oregon and I have a really cool house and I love it and it's perfect for me. And my daughter lives not close enough, but she lives about 45 minutes away. And I talk to her all the time. And then, I started doing these videos. Everybody kept saying it'd be a good idea. So I thought, well, what the heck? Might as well. What else am I got going on, So I started setting stuff up and deciding, how do I want to do this? Okay, so like, first off, I'm pretty comfortable behind the camera. I didn't expect to be, but I am. I also see myself and I think, holy hell, man, my skin looks like shit. My hair's cute though. I always like my hair. And it's like I got smashed in the face when I was a teenager. And so I have a scar on my lip and, I'm probably not the most gorgeous thing on the planet, but like, whatever, this is how I look. And so, I got past that pretty quick. I do enjoy watching my own videos, weirdly. I just think I'm fun enough to watch. I like myself, I guess. I'm just quirky and I have a lot of stories and probably a lot of knowledge from studying all the time. And I don't want to put very much effort into this because I just want it to be fun for me. If it's fun to like research microphones and stuff, I will. But otherwise, I'm going to just have it be kind of bare bones. I'm not going to have like a lot of fancy, things and be like a regular YouTube channel because it looks like a lot of work. I'm not really going to do that. So let's see. A lot of the videos, I'm gonna try to edit out anything where it's just like like I'm not talking or there's whatever. I'm gonna try to edit out that. But they look to be like there's generally about 4-minute videos. Sometimes there's 18-minute videos, and sometimes there's 10-minute videos. So, it's like if you don't want to watch me ramble on, then don't come to this channel. And the other thing is, like my brother, he was saying, well, you have to keep it to 2 minutes and you have to do this and that. And I'm like, I can't keep it down to 2 minutes. Do you know me? Okay, so I thought, I can't do that. I'm not going to do that. And he says, well, then people aren't going to follow you. You're not going to get likes. People aren't going to follow you. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm not doing it for that reason. I'm doing it because you said I should do it. So I am doing it. And so, and maybe I'll discover that it's really fun and I really enjoy it. And it's very rewarding for me. So, it's kind of all about me, but it's also about you too, because I want to share tidbits that might in some way enhance your life or inform you about some things, or, even comfort you in some way. Like you might listen to something I'm talking about and you might be like, oh my God, I'm not the only one. Okay, cool. There could be a variety of ways that you're helped by me rambling on. So we'll see. Also, I'm kind of impervious, so don't think you're going to write some scathing comment to me and it's going to hurt my feelings. So, but if it goes according to the way the rest of my life is gone, I probably won't even get any negative remarks or comments. So I'm okay with that. Let's see. What else should I tell you? So I'll probably post this video first. That way you can kind of get a chance to see what I'm thinking and figure out a little bit about me. And then I do expect for you to do comments. I do want to have some conversation with you and just see where that goes. It's always fun to interact. Like every once in a while, not very often, but every once in a while, I'll comment on somebody's YouTube channel and oh my God, when they text or when they comment back, it's like, it's almost feels like a brush with greatness or something. So anyway, I started these videos, I don't know, several months ago, 2020, early 2025 probably. At this stage of the game, I'm on the coast for a whole month. So I did a little series of kind of boring videos, from there. So, because I'm not really doing a ton of stuff. I'm not super adventurous. And I like people. So it's a little bit boring because I don't really know a lot of people here. But, that social momentum is beginning to build and I am, making the best of it. And I'm trying to do these videos and learn how to edit. I don't want to edit a lot. I just want to be able to do it if I need to. Anyway, so this is the room I'm staying in and it's gorgeous out here in the nothingness. There's no EMFs, at all. There's no router out here. There's no nothing. Anyway, so, all right. I got about 30 to 40 videos that I've been processing through, and I'm going to go ahead and start uploading those. But for now, I suppose this is the first video. And then I do have ideas for videos. So a lot of these videos are going to be kind of boring, maybe. It's just if you have nothing better to do with your life than sit and watch me ramble on about my day, go ahead. And then I had started doing videos where I was doing my crystal bowl and then I was doing my drum and I was pulling an oracle card of some type. And those are kind of fun. So there's a little batch of those. I'll make a couple of different playlists. And then I was talking about some astrology, and I'm not an astrologer, so don't expect miracles out of me about that. And if you have anything where you want to correct me, go ahead. I like to learn. So I study systems. Like I like to study human design and astrology and you name it, man. Personality profiling systems all day. I love doing that. Anything spiritual, anything real woo woo and out there. I mean, uh, I don't like really get into the weeds or anything because I only want to get into things that are like, how is that going to benefit me today? How is that going to benefit my life? How is that going to help me be a better human? Like those kinds of things. Like, yeah, I know there's aliens. Yes, I know that there's probably something underneath Antarctica or whatever, but it's not going to really help me to do a deep dive there. So I don't. I mean, I might skim over that kind of information just to kind of see what the deal is. Even politics, I kind of skim over it, just kind of ding, ding, ding. Okay, I got it. I don't really need to do deep dives and I don't watch the news. Anyway, so maybe I'll do like a whole political thing. That'd be fun. Anyway, all right. Well, I'm going to get to my breakfast and I'm going to get back to those videos and I'm going to upload this one and we'll get going. We'll get started and we'll see where it goes from here. All right. Okay. Don't forget to comment. And I'm glad you're here and I'm glad I'm here. Okay. Bye.